Welcome back to another edition of Solved. We are still working on the 2018 Grand Cherokee. I brought you a video on the toolage needed to remove the caliper bolts right there, which was a T45. You have to disassemble that socket. We now went to the front brakes and found a bad axle. Saw a couple videos on YouTube, very inspirational, very helpful. However, I found a different way to do it, an easier way. Instead of removing the sway bar link and disturbing the strut assembly from its seated position on the control arm, you still disconnect the outer tie rod, you still disconnect the upper control arm, but you also want to disconnect the lower bolt for the steering knuckle assembly. This happens to be a 24 millimeter. Looks like this. This is a 21 or 13/16 deep, because when the nut sits down, it sits way below this, which is another way to tighten and loosen it, which we'll get into another time. And then you have the same thing up here. It's a 21 millimeter, just a straight thread. Don't forget the 10 millimeter ABS wire, okay, which just slides right out. And that's pretty much it. So now we just have to figure out how to get this axle off, which I don't know if they will be able to sneak through here or not. But as far as disassembly, you do not have to disconnect the sway bar link. It's much easier just to do the bolt. Also, you want to check for the lower ball joint. That's a little bit too flexible, 100,000 miles on this unit, so might be a good idea to advise to replace it. This looks like a smaller opening, so we're going to try and see if we can get that out. Hang on one sec, let's try it. All right, so good news, kids. Actually, pause for a second. Make sure you're using a floor jack stand. And although I tried to get it out with a short pry bar, I had to go with the longer pry bar. From this angle, you just kick it out that way. So here you can see that the bolts are still attached, and here you can see it comes right out. So again, my theory was correct. Got lucky, I guess. You do not have to disconnect the strut mount, the strut itself, or the sway bar link. You don't have to disturb those, because obviously, you know, there's a nut behind here, and usually when people grab it, they rip the boot and then they destroy the sway bar link rather. So got a little bit of cleanup over here. You see the drain pan, that's a good idea in case fluid comes out. I left it in park. Some people like to leave it in neutral if you like the vehicle rolling down the hill, if you are on one. But we're going to clean up all this CV axle grease junk, and we're going to put it back together. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Solved. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow if this video's helped you, or you know somebody else it might help. Got to clean up that caliper as well. Clean everything up, lubricate the slides. They just slide right out. Oh yeah, that's tight, so we're gonna have to definitely clean that up. See a little bit of corrosion in there, and that would be why the outer pad. So if your brake pads are wearing on the outside only and not the inside, that's usually hardware related. If it's the inside only, that's usually a failed caliper piston. This is a dual piston system, so it could have been recessed. They didn't do the brake flush, which we did do today. Don't forget to ask any questions you like. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Very busy, but I do get back to answering all the questions. Again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow. Leave your comments. Hopefully this video has helped you. Have a great day. Stay safe.